Alright, I'm gonna make a tackle video on all my tackle. Haven't made a video in a long time. Thought I'd just start making some right before the fishing season starts up here in Illinois. It'd be about a couple months and we'll be full blown. But yeah, for right now I'm just gonna start off on showing you guys all my plastics, my jigs, and then my crankbaits. Just gonna do it all in one shot. It'll probably be a 12-13 minute video, but whatever. I hate to just do two parts of it. It just gets kind of annoying. But this will be part one, and I'll have part two just on all my rods. Let's get into it. I'm just gonna start from the top down, no apparent order. I'm gonna kind of fly through this pretty quick, just because I really don't want to take a whole lot of time on this, because nobody wants to watch a 20-minute video on somebody's tackle, just talking about each and every single one. So I mean, there would be certain ones I'll stop at, but for the most part, I'm just gonna kind of go through this pretty quick. Alright, here I got a Lucky Crafts JC King Jerk 100. I think this is a Bass Pro Shops exclusive, but yeah, I have not got a chance to try this out. It looks pretty much just like a Pointer 100, but with a little hump on the back. It's supposed to have a more erratic action, so I don't know. We'll have to see. We're gonna try this out for sure. Pre-spawn this year, so it's gonna be fun to try these things out. Just got another one, same color. Another one right here in a different color, and then a Spro Mix stick, and then I have a little ABA X wrap in there. I got a lot of red eye shads, a couple red eye shads, another red eye shad, an Excalibur, Ogopala rip and wrap, a couple rip and wraps, an Excalibur, and then an Excalibur, a rip and wrap, and a Strike King. And these are just kind of my whatever crankbaits. I mean, they're not really my whatever crankbaits. It's pretty much from 0 to, well, not 0, but about 2 to 10 feet. So, here's your 2.5 Lucky Craft bomber, or I think that's about the shallowest bomber you can get. I don't throw bombers very much, but I requested that they were that shallow bomber is pretty good at a place I'm gonna be fishing this year, so I picked one up. And then right here is a Strike King 1X or 1S, and then there's another Strike King. Some 1 minuses. I got 4 1 minuses. Some DTs, a couple DTs. I'm loving the DTs, man. They're really nice, and now that they came out with Ike's custom ink, some of those colors are sweet. I mean, can't go wrong with the classic shad pattern, and I love these things. They're great baits. I mean, I'll just tell you a story really quick. I was fishing a dam, just a riprap dam, just going up and down it. It was at a smaller lake, and man, there was another dude who was throwing just a square bill the entire day, and I was throwing that, and man, I caught so many, and we'd keep coming down, just meeting with each other. We were doing the exact same thing, and I kept asking him if he's catching anything. He caught nothing that whole day on it was a Rick Clun 1.5, and man, we were throwing the DTs, and I was just hammering them. I probably had 15 in like 3 hours. I mean, this is a smaller, it's a heavily pressured, like I think it's like a 200 acre lake, so I mean it catches fish when some of those other ones don't. So this is a Japanese brand. You can get them at Gander Mountain. It comes in a pack of 3. I do not know the name, but those are some of those lures. They're nice lures. They're made pretty well, I will say. And then some Spro Little John's MD, the shallower version. I got a couple of these. I think that's like the Nasty Shad. These are some great lures. These are great. These really changed. I mean, from the fishing standpoint, for me, these really changed the game. I mean, they do. They're so much different than all these other crankbaits out there, especially when they're floating. They almost suspend, and they just sit there, and that's killer. That's killer. When you're throwing something like this, that floats, you can just jerk it and you can all of a sudden just pause it. Or this will just kind of sit there and it just slowly falls. It mimics them. I mean, I think this is going to be a lot better in the fall, but mainly in the spring. In the spring, that's going to be killer. This is still a great bait in the summer. I throw this a lot in summer on the riprap. And here's just some Square A's. Don't throw those very much. Some Strike King, like 4 or 5s. I don't know. I don't really throw Strike Kings very much. I don't know. There's just something about them I really do not like. And I've been throwing these a lot lately. I've only got one left. I had a bunch, but I just lost them. These are the Rapali glass wraps. These things are awesome. Next is all my squares. It's probably still gonna be a 10-minute video, but oh well. Yep, that's the same brand like I was telling you. It's a Japanese brand. This is the 2.5s. I can make a review. I might make a review on those. I'm not sure. Same thing here. That's a KVD. That's another one. I'll show one of these up close. They're made pretty well. I mean, the paint isn't gonna come off, it's for sure, and the hooks are decent. They're not like Gamakatsu's or anything, but they're good hooks. They're good hooks. I would leave the hooks on there. I wouldn't even change them. These are all scrubbers. I'm just gonna go through them pretty quick. Just KVDs. It's a Japanese brand. KVD. That's a bluegill pattern. If you can't see that, it probably looks pretty dark. Bluegill pattern. KVD. That's just the one. These are all 1.5s. It's just the one. There's 1.5 from the Japanese brand. There's KVD and the Japanese brands. Those are a couple Excaliburs and then some KVDs. Throw scrubbles quite a bit. I don't know who doesn't. But here's my top water. Just got a random frog. I've never used. This is an X-Walk, a Sammy, and then a Gunfish. And then here I have Super Swoop. I'm a huge Super Swoop guy. I'm not a big fan of Lucky Crafts. Just the way they sit in the water, just the tail down. I'm not a big fan of that, honestly. I like the way the spooks walk so much better. They leave so much more of a trail. Just the wake that they make. I don't know. There's just something about them that I like a lot more. Here is the Chuggin Spook. This kind of came out at the end of the year. I didn't really have much chance to fish this. I did for a little bit. Walks really well. It turns on its side quite a bit, but I put a split ring on this, so I'll have to give you guys more feedback about that. Zara Spook, love those. That's just a Super Spook Junior. I caught so many fish off this. Just not even funny. Bait's awesome. Subwalk, some Kelly J prop baits, some poppers. I just got some spinner baits and bug baits in here. I'm not going to go over that too much. Those are just those like counter buzz, dry buzz, inline buzz baits. That's a custom made buzz bait actually that I got. So somebody that I knew gave it to me. So it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet buzz bait. Just some smaller little lures, some miscellaneous stuff. Some chatterbaits are in here. I'm not gonna go through those. Beetle spins. Dude, I love these things. I mean, this year during this, I think it was in May, I caught a 3-pounder off a beetle spin when nothing else was catching them. It's pretty funny. I love those things. And then I just have some spinner baits. I mean, I think I got the Strike King, Kevin Van Dam series ones down on the bottom there, and some Booyah ones, you know. Cheers. Normal spinner baits. Here we go. These are just my flipping baits. Some 4 or 5-inch pocket craws. These are like awesome summer baits. Awesome summer baits. Those are some like woolly bullies or whatever. It's just some beavers, some young beavers. These are the D-bombs. These things are awesome. I fished this thing, these lures, a lot this fall. Oh man, they're killer. Yeah, and they're awesome. I mean, I throw the KVDs quite a bit, and those are so much better. Those are the Trigger X Hotheads. I bought these, and I have not really given them much of a chance. I just haven't really. I mean, I think they're more for like flipping in some of the weeds, I guess. That's what I would use them for, but I haven't really had a chance to use them. These are, and then those are the Havocs. These are some perch, like the Bass Pro Shops perches. I could be using some of these this spring from the beds. Some Havoc tubes, just some tubes, some craw think this is the Crawfatty. Man, I can't remember the name of those. Yeah, it's the crystalline. It's the thin. It's the Havocs. I mean, and then just some whatever. I think there's a worm or something in there. And then those are some Bass Pro Shops tubes. So that's those. And then I'll go over my frogs really quick, just because I forgot to put them in this. This is, oh man, that's a big tail. That's a Bigfoot. Man, I can't remember. Scum frog, Bigfoot. I mean, the only thing that's really funny about these things is the hole in this. I mean, I melted it and put it together. But man, there used to be when I got this a huge hole in it, and it didn't really sink. I just thought it was hilarious. It's like there was supposed to be a weight there, and there wasn't. I mean, and I looked at some of the other ones, and they didn't have a weight in there either. So I don't know. And this is the Iobi, the worst frog you can make. It walks very well. It's almost underneath the surface, but it isn't weedless for its life. I mean, yeah. And then I got, this is like a Matsuo frog, I guess. Yeah, it's a small frog. It's about the size of a quarter. I mean, it works really well. I don't know how you're gonna hook up with a fish like that. This is the King Daddy. Just got this fall, so I haven't had a chance to use that. I mean, I think it's gonna be awesome on the thicker muck, and just make that wake. Yeah, and then I have some Strike Kings, black and white Strike Kings. I love the Strike Kings. And I have a Spro. This is like my little old buddy, man. I caught a ton of fish off this, and it hasn't worn off. The paint jobs on that thing is amazing. It is not worn off at all. And then I just have all my jigs. I have a lot of jigs here, so I'm really just gonna tell you what kind they are. Those are just some finesse jigs. Yeah, it's really about all those are. Booyah jig, and then I have some mop jigs, a couple mop jigs. Those aren't bad jigs. They're really in the middle. They're good for if you fish like lightly grassed, just gravel lakes. I mean, those things would be amazing. Sorry about that. Yeah, the mop jigs. They're kind of in the middle. The weed guard's just right for kind of in the middle. It's got a great hook. The head design is amazing. It's almost like identic to the oh man, I can't remember. Dirty Jigs head design. But obviously the weed guard's much heavier on the Dirty Jigs. This makes them a lot better. But I mean, those are good. Those are good. I mean, they're just kind of your whatever. It's kind of be in the mix. If you fish ponds, just gravel ponds, those would be great. I got a bunch of swim jigs. Swim jigs are the bomb. Just some other swim jigs. This is my favorite swim jig right here. Well, not really. It's this skirt. These are the Yum F2. Like the skirted grubs, but this is a bluegill color. Oh man, that color is just amazing. I have a couple more left, and I can't find them anymore. They don't make the bluegill color like that anymore. That's just a great color. It perfectly imitates a bluegill. Those are just a couple heavy football jigs, and those are just Strike Kings. Some punching jigs, some just random craws and just jig. But then there's a bunch of just Omega jig heads in here, and then I have quite a few of like these jig heads from Bass Pro Shops. These things are great. You just throw a crawl right on the back of these. It's a lot different from just throwing a regular jig. And then these are just my trailers. I'm just gonna kind of fly through this. Pocket craws is what I usually use. Pocket craw. Those are just some little itty bitty brush hogs I accidentally bought. I didn't mean to buy that small. Just some whatever trailers, and then some curly tail grubs, some mini swim baits, and that's really about it for that box. Just some trailers. And then this box has got my plastics in it. These are just the ones I didn't really want to take out. Strike Kings, the rodents, some smaller rodents, some of the Strike King thumper worms. I don't know. I don't really like these things. I mean, the tail's nice on them, but I don't know. There's just something about them I don't really like. A little too quick, I think. A little too much action. Ribbon tails. These are what I throw for my worms, my 7-inch worms. I just throw the power worms. They're awesome. Just get the green pumpkin. They're killer. Some power shaky worms. These things are pretty sweet. These things are great shaky tail worms. So are perfect plastic ones too. They make good codes. Those are both pretty good. Some gulp sinking minnows. These are the new shell crackers. These things are pretty sick baits. Great flipping bait for sure. I will be throwing these kind of in the mix between something really erratic with a lot of water movement between something like as subtle as a beaver, you know. So that's gonna be a great lure. And then just some rage craws. And then, oh man, these things are awesome. These are the smoking rooster. Oh man, these things are sweet. They're like, you know, if you want to throw a worm, but you just want something more of a creature. I mean, just either way, these things are beast. And then last is my worms. I got a couple of these off from a guy that kind of makes them himself, but these are Simbass Pro Shops. I like, out of all the store-bought brands, without the Yamamotos, just because Yamamotos are just gonna break your budget, and they rip really easily. So it's like, why would you spend so much for something that's just gonna rip? The Bass Pro Shops. I mean, these things are just perfect. They're solid. They're not gonna rip, and they're denser, so they got a lot more better fall. Gander Mountains brand. They're not too bad. I don't know. They're not too bad. These are the man, the Doctor whatever. These are just some. I wacky rig them on a drop shot. Some ringworms, some minnow, drop shot minnows, some huge, just like my 10-inch worms, and then I have some Gary Yamamoto's. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I just said it earlier. Yeah, I don't throw those very often. I don't throw the 5-inch stick worms very often at all. A lot of times I throw a stick worm. It's Ben, where there's a lot smaller fish, and then just some yum dingers that are in like the completely wrong color for the lakes that I throw. And here is a smoking rooster. Great bait, great bait. Yep. So that is it. I mean, that's all my tackle, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll have the rod video coming out pretty soon.